Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. Tonight we're starting with the usual crew of good-looking gentlemen. I'll give the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, if you love your mama's favorites together, check us out on Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, and Country Air Brand on Twitter. Now pass it off to the senior official.
Hey, what's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV. Pound sign for the ref brand. Waffles. Take it home podcast.
Waffles, 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 waffles. How was the breakfast hunch this week, fellas?
New bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with a couple of pancakes on the side. Absolutely delicious.
Very nice, very nice. Zach?
I actually made some eggs, toast, and bacon. Messed up the bacon. That's why usually Val does the breakfasts, but had eggs and toast at least.
Hey, that's all right. I went for the tried and true sausage egg and sandwich or bagel. Definitely hit the spot. Girl threw down on those. Nothing wrong with the classic staple, just like there's nothing wrong with the classic staple banger of the week. Perch.
Woo!
What you
Banger
got,
of the
brother?
week. I dusted off an album that I picked up a long time ago. I think by the time I picked up the CD, it was about 5 years old at the time. Looking back now, it's about 20 years old. I was rocking the Blueprint 2 this weekend.
Ooh.
And that CD was always so good. I loved it. And every time it would restart, the banger, track number 1, A Dream.
A Dream. There you
go. Biggie, Lauryn Hill in there too. Just a great song, great track to start off the CD. Gets the blood flowing. Good storytelling music. Talk about a good story. Gives the chills.
Blueprint 2 and Blueprint 2.1 definitely carried me through a lot of boxing days back in my time. So
back in Dre's boxing days. That's
great. back in the other fight days. Those 2 albums definitely carried me through a lot. Yeah, so love those. Listen to those front to back 1,000 times.
Yeah. Listen, many times. Every car I had up until this one doesn't have a CD player, but that CD went up and down. Every single car I've ever had.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So why don't we get right into the shits, and why don't we talk about what we've watched over the last week? Let's start with Zach, because you hosted a Royal Rumble party.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Saturday, of course, I had a Rumble party. A lot of people came out. Doc was there. Jay Manny, Chuckles, a lot of the boys were over. It was a good time. I was shocked that the first match was the men's Rumble, but I think with Cody Rhodes coming back, it was kind of the writing on the wall that it was Cody's year to win the Rumble, so they were just going to knock it out of the way because sometimes Doc said it before, sometimes you just give the fans what they want. The fans wanted it. Everyone knew Cody was going to go over in the Royal, and they gave it to him, and man, it was a big pop.
And they know that last 5 to 7 minutes with him and Gunther were amazing.
Yeah, I like the fact there was actually a match, not just all right, we eliminated so and so. There's 2 of us left. Now we got about a minute before they brawled, and Gunther just looked like a fucking star.
Yep.
Chopped the living hell out of everyone. That moment between him and Lesnar was huge. Then after that match 2, pitch black match. That match was I watched it back as Doc and I were playing a little bit of Simpson bowling at the time. I was actually very impressed with the women's Royal Rumble. That was super entertaining. The Street Fighter pose on the apron.
Yep. Zelina Vega with the jury cosplay. Love it.
And then Doc, how you feeling about Asuka?
Oscar, my baby. Going back to the old crazy kind of gimmick. And that was the thing, freaking her coming back on Raw with Carmella going back to Princess of Staten Island gimmick. I was very happy with both of those things.
Yeah, bro. Because like for those that know, Doc lives super far, and he left. And he left during the women's rumble match to get home and try to get home at a decent time. But when Asuka came out with her old gimmick, I was like, "Where's Doc? He's driving. He's on the road. I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil him, but holy hell!"
Yeah, try not to crash in that storm. But no, yep, I got home. It was all over the social medias, so I had to watch it.
Oh yeah, and that main event too, like cinematic.
Nope, yep, very good storytelling. Which definitely leads into the topic of tonight. But yeah, this is definitely one of the better storylines that WWE has put on, I think, in recent years.
I would say overall, the Royal Rumble might have been one of the best Royal Rumbles they've had in recent years, like
Yeah,
top to bottom.
yeah, top to bottom, nothing. Yeah, I mean, even it can't be understated. Alexa Bianca was good.
Alexa Bianca was good, and even then, like they're still tying in that story, like not forgetting that Alexis has ties with Bray.
Yep, and Uncle Howdy. Got,
Yeah,
so yeah, very enjoyable Rumble.
yeah. Besides the Rumble, I've been on a kick. I've been watching a lot of old school Paul London, Brian Kendrick matches. I was telling Dot the other day, I forgot like how long they've had the belts. Like, besides the Usos and the New Day, they're actually the tag team underneath them on the list for longest reigning champions. Um, I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, they look so cool. The baggy gear, the sprinting to the ring, moonsaulting, landing, being cool. Now that I get older, I'm like, I don't like the gear, but me and Doc talked about, and we definitely understand the gear was for comfort.
Yeah, yeah. Like lately, I'm a big shorts guy, so if some gear down the line uh is a little bit more design shorts than the shorts that I've been wearing lately, don't be surprised.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, a lot of Brian Kendrick, a lot of Paul London. Don't be surprised if you start seeing us bust out some of their old school classics. Other than that, just a lot of random matches, like a lot of independent matches. I can't name any in particular, but watch some of our old stuff, like stuff that we just did at 0-1 a few weeks ago. Um, I watched the Caribbeans, some of the Caribbeans old matches, like one with them against Youth Gone Wild, but yeah, just a bunch of independent matches as well.
Hell yeah. Perch, what have you been watching, good sir?
Yeah, been some great wrestling. AEW last week was really fun.
Yep.
Really enjoyed. Um, Great action. Takeshita taking on Danielson, very fun. Um, just a good hard hitting match. Or it was it Brian Cage against
Yep. It was Cage and Danielson last week.
Cage against Danielson. Um, and then after all the hell broke loose, Cage starts cashing in on that bounty, and then Takeshita came out and saved him.
Yes.
I like the way this stories kind of stacking on top of each other, and he has a good respectable match with Takeshita a couple weeks ago, and then a disrespectful match with Brian Cage the following week. The guy who came back saved you when you needed help, and then just tonight ended up watching Takeshita against Brian Cage from yesterday. So that was a good one and continues to progress. I love watching it. Um, Mark Briscoe in that match against Jay Lethal was powerful, incredible, so cool to see. Start to finish, just a perfect match. Perfection's never achieved in pro wrestling, so that kind of a match is perfect.
Yeah, yeah. It was what it needed to be. Hit all the right emotions.
Yeah, on any given night, any given card, that match is a banger. And on that night, it was extra special. He hit that elbow through the table from the top of the turnbuckle to the outside. It was just a moving moment. Some moves really hit you, but when that one was delivered, that was extra special. A really cool match. Loved it. Um, that Rumble was really fun to watch as well. Booker T coming in and rocking those kicks was awesome.
Yep.
It's that spinneroonie, nails it and gets tossed out. Perfect.
Yeah, Zach called it perfectly. Like right when he hit the entrance, he's like, he's gonna hit all his stuff, spin a Rudy, get thrown out, and yeah, would have loved Booker to be in there a bit longer.
Loved Lesnar right away too. They didn't waste much time with Lesnar getting in there and the square offs that he had. Um, yeah, lots of good matchups and showdowns in that match. Gunther being in there the whole time too was fun. Uh, coolest moment of the night, I would say hands down, was that Asuka entrance and the way she rocked it and being the final three, hitting that mist at the end too. It had me going the whole way. Pick who you want, but Cody and Rhea could have been, favorites to win it. They had me going with Asuka at the end, especially.
I did not believe Rhea would do it because they did the Judgment Day thing earlier with her and Beth. So I thought that was going to be the reason that she didn't get it. But yeah, it caught me off guard.
I was like, yeah, same boat as you, Doc. I thought Asuka was gonna win after seeing that cool gimmick. And I was like, oh, Rhea's gonna make it to the end but get thrown out because Beth is coming out at some point.
Yeah. But
that Asuka face paint is the coolest I've ever seen. Like I know there's cooler gimmicks that cooler looks that she's had in the past too, but as far as it goes for modern day, like that's the coolest look I've seen. Love it. And the big headdress too coming out. My God, that was so cool. Everything about her is just 100%.
Yes, that's my baby.
Oh, I love it. I've been watching a lot of good old school matches as well. Good 90s WCW. Mr. Wonderful, one of my favorites. Just a good heel, solid, great body, good footwork and positioning, and knows how to work a crowd. Was watching him at Clash of the Champions against Ricky Steamboat. Really good match. Just solid, fundamental. Referee Randy Anderson in there too. Going back and watching these ones and matchups is so much fun. And this one happened to be preceded by the segment of the Shockmaster right before. So that was a complete hidden gem. and got to be intro to that. So yeah, good Mr. Wonderful right after to take the crowd right from that shocking promo segment, as Jesse the Body called it. And yeah, really, really good matches. Love Mr. Wonderful.
Well, yeah, kind of in the same boat as Perch. I watched the Dynamites last week and this week. Takeshita, they really seem to be going all in on him. And this kind of also feeds into like our topic, maybe like tangentially later. But I think AEW is excelling at the short-term storytelling, getting me hyped for the next week. And WWE right now with the Bloodline is really excelling at long-term storytelling, getting me excited for the pay-per-views and what's going to happen with the Bloodline and things like that. But Takeshita and Cage tonight, which was built last week after the Danielson and Cage match last week, and then that fed into what we're going to get next week, Takeshita versus MJF. Really loving what they're doing. Just like I said, just on a week-to-week basis, getting you hype for things coming. Really want to put over Jade Cargill. 50-0. We have seen all 50 matches that she's had in her life, and she has really improved. The match yesterday with her and Red Velvet, that finish was amazing. Red Velvet has the short arm scissors, flips it over into like a omoplata with the short arm scissors, which was genius, and I might steal. But freaking Jade Cargill, the monster that she is, picks her all the way up, stand strong. Velvet transitions into a sunset. Jade does my favorite big man thing, double chokes down, pick them all the way up, transitions her into the Jaded for the finish. It was beautiful. Great back and forth there. Loved it. I think this is also, Red Velvet's like most solid match that she has. Like, I think she's one of the more talented girls on the roster, but maybe sometimes aims a little too high. But I think this was probably one of the best matches that she's had as well. So, and Jade, just seeing how far she's come in 50 matches has been a sight to see. It's not like in our first 50 matches where we were like on the road all the time, taking whatever match we can. She's had 50 quality matches, and you can definitely see the growth over time in those, and I really appreciate that. What else? Love what they're doing with Gun Club and the Acclaimed, of course. Billy Gunn setting up the title match for next week has me intrigued. The Acclaimed didn't want it, but Billy Gunn stepped in and said, fine, you get the title shot. So very intrigued to see where his loyalties lie next week. Tony Storm and Saraya, being the fiendish heels that they are, jumping Britt Baker during the Jamie Hayter interview last night. Freaking the Darby Allin Samoa Joe match.
Yeah.
Darby coming out in that thumbtack hoodie. Genius.
That was great. And pissed off Joe something fierce.
Yep. Joe was just an angry man that whole match. And freaking super muscle buster from the second rope onto the exposed ring. As soon as Darby started pulling that, I knew it was a muscle buster on the exposed. I did not see it coming from the second rope. That boy's crazy.
That's beautiful. And how about when Joe took out that table and then the table took him out?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Busted
both table spots. Freaking, yeah, Joe pulling up the table, Darby hit the suicide while he was pulling it out. And then the classic Joe walk away when Darby goes for the suicide again, and he eats table that ends up setting up for the muscle buster.
Bro, what about the dumping him over the stairs and the fan?
Oh yeah, the freaking he shot him into the stairs. Darby takes it at the knee, flips over the barricade, lands on his feet. That wasn't on purpose. Like, as a small guy, I have been there where just things work out and you just take it hard enough and like, oh god, I landed on my feet. That was not planned.
That was great.
Yep, really enjoyed that. Like Zach said, Rumble was great. Definitely, I think it's up there as one of the best of recent years, as long as I can remember, just top to bottom. But yeah, we got a lot of really good wrestling.
What's really good about the Rumble? Because you were here when Bailey came out. We thought Bailey got eliminated right off the bat from Liv. And we were just
that falsy. I bit hard on that.
We all bit hard. And then Chelsea Green came out and they did it to her.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy hell, like that one got me because we bid on it with Bailey and then came back later with Chelsea.
Yep. But yeah, got to give it up to Liv. I did not see her finish her as being an out of nowhere finish, but she got me on that one. And I do really enjoy her little like rope hung flatliner, self-hung flatliner. Very good. I too watched a couple of our matches, just studying up and hating myself, but overall, yeah, it's been a really good week in wrestling. And like I said, when you got AEW excelling at the short term and WWE excelling at the long term, if you're a fan of both, we're eating good right now. We're eating real good right now. But enough talking about things we watched. Let's talk about the things we did. Perch, let's start with you.
Yeah, I had a great time over the weekend. All-Star Lucha Libre in Chicago. I started the day off with a seminar with Sky Day, Luchador, and yeah, it was a great time. Got a lot of good reffing reps at the Berwyn Eagles Club. Uh, Spent a lot of time in the ring during the seminar, and then had a show that night with lots of good matches. Open it up with the pre-show. There's about 5 or 6 luchadors in there, maybe four, a 4-man luchador scramble match. A really fun time. All new guys who I've never worked with before. And the next match I had was Ezio Orlandi against Trick Davis. Very cool to get experience Trick Davis matches and to work with him as well. A legend around the Midwest and independent circuit. Someone who was in, the wrestling world and community long before I ever stepped foot into it. And very cool guy to pick his brain and to see stuff through his eyes and to hear stories from his perspective. So yeah, it was a really cool experience working with Trick over the weekend. And then yeah, wild lucha main event or co-main event with Atomico and Sky Day against La Estrella and Manny Cortez. Fun match. Atomico ends up getting the victory at the end in that one. Yeah, just a fun time at Chicago Lucha Libre. Love getting those reps and love learning that style. Really good time.
Oh yeah. And Zach, how was our weekend?
Our weekend was good. Friday we jumped in the car with Hartenbauer and Christian Rhodes. Drove down to St. Louis Anarchy. Really, really, really long drive after like you realize it, but those they had some phenomenal matches. Like great 8-man tag with the homie Camaro in it.
Mm-hmm.
Opener with Davey Vega and what was his name?
Thomas Shire.
Thomas Shire being the hell out of each other. Anakin going toe to toe with Craig Mitchell. Christian Rose defending the newly named Destination Pro title, formerly Journey Pro title. Now being defended at St. Louis Anarchy, defending against Kenny Alfonso.
Yep. That was a
And
good
then
one.
the main event was what's Derrick Henry, right?
Derek Neal.
Derek Neal versus Warhorse for the Heritage title, which was pretty wild, but around the end couldn't see it because we had to do our due diligence and take the back rows. And when everyone's standing up and there's a bunch of cool stuff happening on the floor, sometimes you don't get to see it all.
Yeah. Yep. Constant struggle, but hey, I said it earlier, like, yeah, Zach said it, a bunch of great matches. I don't know if maybe the Anarchy is spoiled for Anarchy crowd is spoiled for great matches, but I feel like, man, they were up, but man, you guys should be up more. These guys are out here killing themselves, but they definitely came up for that main event.
Oh yeah, it was the whole show. Yeah, yeah, it was yeah, definitely like it felt like all right, like there should be a lot bigger pops than what's going on, but it was good.
Yep, very good, fun time. Definitely felt like a crowd that's been there for a while. But yeah, good crowd, great wrestling. Not much else I can say. And yeah, the drive was long, but
What time did you get home that night?
I think I got home at like 3.
3, bro? No way. Because we got back to Christian Rhodes' house by 2:30 and like 2, I think, and it was like at least a 2.5 hour drive for
Oh,
me.
then maybe it was 4. I can't remember.
Yeah, so I got home around 5:30, almost 6.
Yeah, that might have been right because I think I got home around the time the pups usually get up, so it might have been like 5.
Yeah, long drive, and then yeah, we got home early in the morning, and then that afternoon had to get back up because we had a show out in Oak Creek. The debuting show of Pure Wrestling Federation out at MKE Fitness in Oak Creek, where we took on Kings of the Six.
Yep. First time tag matchup. I think I've worked Devin August before in like a multi-man match. But yep, first time working Skylar Reed. And very good match. Crowd, the venue had a very, I mean, I tweeted this, but venue had very much a Def Jam Vendetta feel, and I was all about that.
Bro, like we were talking about it, and like, they invested some money in their entranceway. They got like a cool PWF banner, and like, like really have a nice entranceway. But if you would take down that entranceway and light that place up and just have there's two sides to the gym, have the heels come out one side, baby faces come out the other, and like have it feel like a Def Jam Fight for New York or like
Yeah,
Vendetta Fight Club feel, where it just feels like you're fighting in an open gym, man. Like you can get that underground Fight Club feel.
yeah, definitely. It definitely has potential for personality. Um, so I'm excited to see where it goes and if they can continue to build. But show was good. Show was good. Everybody showed out. Our match, they had a lot of tag matches, which makes me excited for the tag division. There, we always like to see a good tag division at these promotions. I think there were like 3 and maybe only 7 matches on the card.
Yeah, the opening match is Sean Priest and I forgot his name versus
Silky Smooth is what he goes by now.
yeah, I was gonna say I know his like name, but I don't know his work name.
I
Silky
believe it's
Smooth and then I don't know who they wrestled. I don't know the two guys they wrestled.
yeah. I want to say I've seen them around, but yes, I cannot remember their names right now.
Well, and then we know the main event was a 6-man tag with Dan Newberry, Regis Atlas, and Sensei Jiggy Jack Spade taking on Brown Sugar, Blazing Ben, and leading the charge was Demented Chucky Bates.
Yep, when they put on the 6 man, it was fun to see Chuckles kind of be the bitter vet in that one, trying to corral them all together. It's a wild match when the demented one has to be the sane one in a match.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about our match. We had a good match. We ended up getting the W in the first time matchup.
yep, but you can't trust those Canadians. As a great Jewish mother once said, "Blame Canada." After
South Park.
uh,
You know what? I realized like Caribbeans, Canadians, everyone's the same. Quit shaking their hands because all you're gonna do is get kicked in the dick for it.
yeah, apparently that seems to be the way we go. Maybe we just need to start hitting them in the dick first.
Bro, crotch shot.
Yeah, be the new country air finisher, double crotch shot.
If you don't like it, you're gonna get kicked in the dick.
Yep. But it's a good match. Crowd seemed like new fans, a lot more new fans. So it'll be fun to learn them the ways and actually see what they bring to a show. It's always I think over the summer when we went to that camp Ojibwa, those weren't real wrestling fans, but they were excited for wrestling and they brought a very distinct energy. So I'm very
Bro,
excited to
those custom chants, heart over height, heart over height.
yeah,
Still remember.
they were going. So I'm really excited to see what will become of the PWF fans. Next show is March 4th. I don't know if they announced it, but if not, here you get the insider info.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I've teased it a couple times, so why don't we get right to it and get into our topic for this evening. I brought it up earlier. the Bloodline storyline has been probably one of the best storylines WWE has run in recent years. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody loves it. And this is the type of thing that can draw in new fans. So I asked everybody, what do you do to try to get non-fans into wrestling? I think it's a very common thing. When you love something, you want other people to enjoy it as well. So I just wanted to know what y'all do. I'll go first. For me, when I thought about this, I thought it was very interesting how I think it has changed over the years. How I do it. When I was younger, my way was always the video games. Coming up, we were blessed, I think, with some of the best wrestling games. With WCW NWO Revenge, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, and the first two SmackDowns on PlayStation. That era of wrestling games, just hit after hit. And then you eventually got, and this was another one that really helped me draw non-fans in, was the Def Jam games, because they were so over the top. As I got older, I did fall out of wrestling. But as I got back in and I was trying to get other people in, the thing that I would do is I would show them Lucha Underground. And I think that kind of feeds into where we are now with this Bloodline storyline. Just the fantastical stories that Lucha Underground told, when I could tell my friends, hey, you should watch this. This guy's going to eat this man's face to kill him at the end of this episode. I think really helped, revive some of their interest into wrestling. Lucha Underground just had a way of telling stories, and they were definitely helped by having very unique camera work. They had the guy that shoots the Olympic hype videos on their staff, so they just had super quality guys. They were under MGM, so just quality top to bottom from them. And the writers, Chris Roach was a SmackDown writer in the early 2000s and in those heydays. So like having that all together just created such a unique environment, and that I think you still see being used today. I just noticed it tonight. Cage's entrance music starts off with "I'm a Machine," which was his thing in Lucha Underground. That was like his entrance music there. So it's crazy to see how like that's transferred over. And even big Cage guys on this podcast, if you didn't know, but them bringing in Willie Mack and having his two matches be against Cage, when you think about all the classics they put on in Lucha Underground, no brainer. It had to be those two. So I think it's very interesting to see where that show was and to see how many things have been pulled from it since then. Nowadays, when I want to get people into wrestling, I show them my shit. I think it's very surprising because I can be very quiet out in public, very unassuming, very laissez-faire. So, I did those couple of TikTok /reels that showed the entrance from Mondo Lucha at the Cooperage, and I had people hitting up like, you used to hate people. Now, you post this video of you screaming in this woman's face, like, 2 inches from her. It's hard to believe. So I thought it was just really interesting how my way of trying to get people into wrestling has evolved over the years, and I wonder what it'll be down the line. And with that, let's move down the line. Let's go with Perch. What do you do to get non-fans into wrestling?
Yeah, it's a great question. As long as there's been pro wrestling, there's been fans and non-fans.
Yeah.
Kind of always been a fan as long as I can remember, and yeah, I would always love playing the video games with people. It was always rough because you'd sit someone down and all they would do is hit the punch button or the kick button 100 times, And you'd have to tell them like, no, you can't just keep pressing punch or pressing kick. And it was like, oh boy, that was definitely a tangled web.
Yeah, the controls in wrestling are definitely hard to like break into people.
Like A is grapple and B is strike. You have a non-wrestling fan who's gonna hammer B 100
100
times
times,
before
yeah.
they try pressing A.
Like, come on. That would be the thing where I like how I would beat so many of my friends just because I would grab.
Yup.
I knew how to grab and block.
Yeah, oh
All you
yeah.
need.
And I would inevitably be the one who just gets, owned by someone who's, strikes me and I can't find that opening. And oh boy, before you know it, my guy's health is gone. This person's, am I doing it right?
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was always a struggle. Always a struggle. Um, no, but as I got older, I always loved live events, especially growing up in Wisconsin, whether it's a Brewers game or a Packer game. We loved tailgate events. So whenever there's a open night or a Saturday open or something, would love to use pro wrestling as, hey, wrestling's in town. Let's have a good time. Let's tailgate and bring a bunch of people. So that was my favorite method as I got older. Would be whenever WWE came in town or when ROH even came in town, getting together with pals, and I would love to bring non-wrestling fans, uh, just because we're gonna have a good time. Doesn't matter what event it is, uh, and we'd always have a good tailgate beforehand and just a rowdy, fun time during the show. So yeah, always fun. That now, once I joined wrestling, some family and friends would come to watch, which is pretty cool. Whenever I have a home game or a show close by, um, very cool. I don't expect them to really get into wrestling, uh, but it's cool to have the support. Whether I was playing any other sport, they're going to be watching. But uh, but yeah, I would always love going with family and friends to shows when they were in town, um, based off the live event aspect of it all.
Hell yeah. Zach, what do you do, brother?
What I did back in college was I had like the WWE network. So I would anytime there's a pay-per-view, like me and my buddies would like get pizza. Like first one I showed them was the Mania where Rollins cashed in on I think it was the year we watched Mania that year, and it was the year Rollins cashed in on in the main event on Brock and Roman.
Okay.
And then my buddies were very interested in that, so like we watched a little bit of the network. But other than that, we're just like mostly like they would watch pay-per-views. I mean, I didn't do the video game route. I really like playing the game. I like playing with a couple of people, but I'd rather just play it on my own. And you remember, and like you guys said, you have to explain it to everyone how to do it. I was like, I didn't have the patience to
Yeah,
explain.
it is a lot to explain. Like I can remember like my senior year beach week. I brought Fight for New York would have been out by that time. I brought Fight for New York with me. And I think only one of we had a house with 12 people. I think only one of my friends understood it by the end of that week.
Yeah, then like I got tired of like every time we played a game, someone would be like, "Who's this? Who's this? Who's that?" And it's like, I didn't want to explain
Yeah,
each character alphabetically who they were and what their career was.
yeah,
But I mean, I think like what helps out now is like a lot of people seeing me do it, like how you said your friend, like a lot of my friends seeing me do it, and like holy hell, I didn't know you actually did because I get a lot more of my buddies like who like back in college or back when I grew up in Indiana, or even guys I served with like message me and be like, holy hell, that's awesome. Let me know if you're in this town. Let me know if you're in that town. But overall, if like you were trying to like for someone who like besides us who aren't in wrestling, if you're trying to get your buddies involved in wrestling, I think the number one thing is like bring them to an independent wrestling show. Like Perch said, there's nothing more fun than like a live event. And then with the independent wrestling, I feel like you get more interaction that you can on WWE and like other places like that. They have it, but they also have an idea of where they're trying to go. Where
yeah.
sometimes with the independents, you have like a little bit more freedom. So if like the crowd swaying one way, you can have more freedom. Be like, all right, we can go this way with it.
No, definitely. And I think it's like even like the friends that came to Mondo this year, a lot of them have been to like WWE events, but this was their first like indie show, and they had a hell of a time there.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I would say number one thing is like, yeah, bring them to a live independent show. Like one of my buddies came up to see me and Doc wrestle at Pro Wrestling King. Never went to a wrestling show. Now he's like been blowing me up. He's like, bro, anytime you're in South Bend or close around, let me know. I want to go to more.
Hell yeah. Creating new fans daily.
So I mean, for promoters listening, you can always just book us. And no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. If any promoters want to book me in the DMV area, my friends are ready. Now they're ready in prime. So all right, nice. Yeah, I think it's fun how I guess for the most part we being Perch both with the video game route, but now we know just hey, bring them to a show, let them see what we do. That has been the most effective now. All right, guys, starting to wind down a little bit, getting late. Why don't we talk about what we got coming up this weekend? Zach, we got two big ones.
Yes, sir. Supposed to happen. I believe December 30th or December 31st. One of the days it was supposed to happen at the end of last year. Fourth wall, wrestle all the way. It was originally the Maidens of Iron versus Evil Athletes versus Country Air for the Golden Jackets in a Christmas present match. But with 2 months of delays, you got to make it a little bit more interesting. So now this match became an elimination tag match. Then we added a fourth factor in the rising stars of a theory of Asian unity.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, like you said, with that 2 month delay, those guys have been grinding and have impressed the fourth wall wrestling offices, and they think that they deserve a chance at those golden jackets.
But for those who have seen the promo drop, we ain't lying about being cold, and us
Yeah,
jacketless folks need to be warm. And I remember that nice warm golden jacket last year, and I need that warmth back.
yeah, those are very comfortable. So definitely want that back. So
Yeah.
Maidens of Iron, you've held it long enough. Evil Athletes, not your time. Theory of Asian Unity, not your time.
No, no, no. And like you said, the Pico was where we started, and we've never held a championship there. So it's time to hold some gold in the place that started it all.
Yep. Yeah, we have not held any gold there, so it will mean a lot to us to win those jackets there.
Yes, sir.
And
And then
then
Saturday,
yes, sir.
triple duty.
Yep.
We are entering the Oak Creek Rumble. We don't know our numbers yet. I guess the numbers get drawn at the place. I thought you got mailed the number. I was wrong. So my bad there. Uh, Oak Creek Rumble. We are entering it. Either I or Doc Simmons is going to win that Rumble. If Doc Simmons does it, he's going to look on becoming a Grand Slam champion of MIAW when he goes to main event and beat Chucky Bates for the world title. And if I do it, Chuck, wait, are you still the cruiserweight champion
I
there?
am still the cruiserweight champion. I've got belt back here. I should probably bring that just in case.
Yeah, the cruiserweight champion. So maybe I might go in the heavyweight title match. So then we both can look cool with belts from MIAW. And then I'll beat up Chucky Bates and get the world heavyweight title. But regardless, whoever wins, because it's the road to Crusher Fest. And contrary to what everyone believes, Crusher Fest is here to celebrate Milwaukee wrestling.
Yep.
And we're here to try to main event it. And if you main event Crusher Fest, you're defending a belt. So one of us will go and win the Rumble. And then one of us will become the world champion. And maybe they might realize Doc's the cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What was that? You're like the longest reigning cruiserweight champion there is.
No, I think TC still has me beat. Probably.
That's fair. fair. But that's not all, because we've only talked about 2 of the duties we're doing that night. Third one is, besides MIAW hosting the show, it's a cross promotion with Brew City Wrestling, which we are the Brew City Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Yes, we are.
And I don't think they've announced a tag match, so we're gonna have an open challenge, not an open issue, with our Brew City Wrestling
we
Tag Team
probably
Champions.
should save our bloopers one day and release those.
Bro, the best part about that is I thought you messed it up.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, oh, Doc dropped the belt. All right, whatever. Cut, restart. And then when I turned it, everyone's staring at me. I'm like, I messed it up. Like, why am I getting the heat? But yeah, open issue for the Brew City Tag titles. And so whoever wants to challenge us and has some issues, come on out.
Yes, sir. Perch, what do you got this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend's gonna be a fun one. Tomorrow night, Friday, Freelance Wrestling, putting on a benefit show for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. Going to be a really fun time. It's at Marist High School in Chicago. But yeah, it should be a blast. The good old freelance crew, and yeah, for a good cause. So love doing wrestling shows when it's for a good cause, because there's always something far bigger than what we're doing. So if we can give our efforts in a way where it makes someone else's day, or brightens it up a little bit, or raises money, we're all in this world together, and it takes a whole lot of us working together to get through. So it's cool to have the strength of everyone banding together and putting on a cool show. So really looking forward to it. Freelance Friday.
Hell yeah. All right. So yeah, catch the whole crew out in the upper Midwest area. We out ya. And with that, I think it's about time we start taking it home. Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
Nothing. I mean, just come out if you're free. Try to stay warm. This weather's been up and down, been a little while, but yeah, if you're free, come check out. We got some great wrestling in the area. Freelance ain't that far away. Come check out one of the 3 of your favorite hosts of this podcast. A lot more great wrestling going on. So yeah, bring a friend. Let's start
Yeah.
getting these fans.
Bring 2 if you got them. Perch.
Yeah, as of today, RIP Kenny the Sodbuster J, legendary wrestler from the AWA territories. Sodbuster was a Crusher Fest staple too every year. He was always there celebrating. Good dude, great guy. And Leapin' Lenny Poffo, RIP as well.
Yeah.
Another legend, Macho Man's brother. He has incredible stories over the past several years. I've heard him on interviews, and just a very articulate, a very good storyteller. But yeah, much love to those guys. And then the other bit of news was over the week, I got the old PWI magazine.
Yes.
And for the first time ever, I made it into the PWI magazine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, Doc.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys. Next to Doc, making the PWI 500, and he set the bars, showing us they can be done. And there we go. So pick up the newest edition, the year in review 2022, in the year end photos at the back. Incredible. Allie McPetridge, awesome photographer, Louisville area. That was Ric Flair's final wrestling match weekend, so a lot of people were in the house. GCW show, Takeshita against Nick Wayne in a banger of a match at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Very cool to get a picture from that match and a little caption with
Yep. You
referee
talking about
Perch.
sandwiches, I believe it was.
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. That's what it was. That's what it was. Like I'm confusing your sandwich post from earlier today. Yes, it was Cinnabon. I
Oh
knew it was
yeah,
something food related.
lots of good eating in the wrestling world. You come to find with the traveling comes the good eating. But yeah, amazing picture. Cool, cool little shout out in there with a name drop. So the PWI knows who we are, which is a humbling feeling and much love and much respect to
Yep,
those.
yep. Hey, Zach, get on it, brother. They know the podcast exists. They know me and Perch exist. We did like you're the last one we got to get on there.
Bro, I'm like the last on everything. It's just
Like
it's
we got
inevitable.
like you're the last one. Once you're in there, we got that grand slam going.
No, I
Like
know, but for all seriousness, like I know Perch always talks about the PWI, so I saw that like congrats, Perch. Like, but that's like first of many. Like I highly doubt that's the last picture we see of Dan Perch in the PWI.
hell yeah, many more to come.
It
And
started with a match that I was in, followed by a match I was in, and my hand was
yeah,
pictured,
little by little, little by little.
followed by this picture right here. So one step at a time, and yeah, first of many, and just cool to know that we, work our butts off, achieving short term goals and medium term goals. It's cool when the medium term goals, get accomplished. It takes time. It takes building and putting in work day in and day out to stay on the right track, stay on the right path, and to get those little signs of affirmation along the way. Uh, Very motivating and inspiring as well. So uh, cool to be in this pro wrestling business and to have the opportunities we do, and to have it documented is far greater than I could ever ask for.
Hell yeah, nice. And for me, thank you fans, because without y'all loving us, we don't get to these short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. So thank you for all your support. Yeah, with the fans in Milwaukee and Wisconsin have been very supportive of us over our careers. We talked with Jim, and Jim was like, you guys are like the celebrities to us, and that really means a lot, because without you guys like shouting our names and cheering for us and making sure people know like, hey, Wisconsin wrestling is the real deal, we don't get these goals. So thank you all very much. I will continue to say, please, everybody, look after your health, especially here in the Midwest with the weather going up and down as much as it is. Please take care of yourself. It is so important. Don't overlook anything. And with that, this has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. One.